Planning for the future, dealing with anxiety and facing societal pressures. Tonight, 2 teens open up about the toll these things are taking on their mental health. New details about the people accused of staging a hate crime, taking this video showing a burning wooden cross in front of Mayor Mobilate's campaign sign. Coming up, details on the mayor's connection to one of the suspects.
If I would continue going down that route, I was going to die.
Drugs nearly killed her. Now she's sharing her experience to help save lives. How this 19-year-old intends to help people in Colorado Springs beat addiction and prevent overdoses. Good evening and thanks for joining us for News 5 at 10. I'm Megan Cloherty. And last year, nearly 110,000 people died from drug overdoses in this country. Coming up later in our newscast, we'll tell you a very personal story behind a new addiction recovery center that's opening in Colorado Springs. But first, let's take a look at the news you may have missed today. A Colorado State trooper is recovering tonight after a driver crashed into the back of his cruiser. This happened at 3:45 this afternoon at Highway 115 and Little Turkey Creek Road, which is about 8 miles south of Fort Carson. Colorado State Patrol says Trooper Tyler Atkins was in the cruiser when it was hit. Atkins was airlifted with serious injuries to the hospital, but has since been released. CSP says the other driver, who is suspected of being under the influence, also went to the hospital. State police say this is the 11th patrol vehicle struck by a driver this year. The months-long closure that caused Colorado drivers headaches is coming to an end. CDOT officials say the US 50 bridge fully reopened today. The bridge goes over Blue Mesa Reservoir and is just west of Gunnison. It's about 3.5 hours southwest of Colorado Springs. It closed back in April after inspectors found a crack in part of the bridge that supports where vehicles travel. And for a time, the only way to get around the closure was a 6-hour detour. One lane of the bridge opened this past July, and now both lanes are open. New information from the CDC tonight on the number of people sickened by a deadly E. coli outbreak that likely originated here in Colorado Springs. The agency says the total number of people affected by E. coli after eating McDonald's has grown from 75 to 104. The outbreak spans 14 states. The source was linked to sliced onions on McDonald's quarter-pounder cheeseburgers, which were likely sourced from the Taylor Farms facility in Colorado Springs. One person in western Colorado died. The CDC says 4 of the people who got sick developed a severe kidney condition that can lead to kidney failure, and 34 people had to spend time in the hospital.
I'm Allison Zimmerman, and we're now hearing from Colorado Springs Mayor Yemi Mobilate after 3 people were charged after investigators say they staged a hate crime hoax leading up to the Colorado Springs mayoral runoff election in 2023. A spokesperson sent us this statement from the mayor. It reads in part, "This incident was a traumatic time for his family, campaign team, and the community." He goes on to say his only interaction with Derek Bernard, one of the suspects in the case, was as a local media personality. He says he was not aware at the time Bernard was suspected of a crime. As we've reported, this all goes back to a video that circulated before the mayoral runoff election in 2023. Federal investigators now say this was staged by 3 people: Derek Bernard, Ashley Blackcloud, and Deanna West. Bernard is listed as the registered agent of a local media nonprofit called Family Flavors The Slide World Broadcast Network. Investigators say all 3 of the suspects were affiliated with the nonprofit. News 5 has also learned Bernard was recently convicted in a murder trial after ordering a man to kill a local rapper. He has told our partners at the Gazette he plans to appeal the conviction. He is currently being held at the El Paso County Jail. News 5 also reached out to Wayne Williams, who is Mayor Mobilate's opponent in the runoff election. He sent us a statement saying, in part, there were many false accusations made against him during his campaign, and he applauds the efforts of the U.S. Attorney's Office to hold the alleged perpetrators accountable. We have both the full statement from Mayor Mobilate and Wayne Williams up on our website, KOAA.com. Bernard, as we mentioned, is in the El Paso County Jail. The U.S. Attorney's Office tells us Ashley Blackcloud appeared in front of a judge this week. Deanna West is a fugitive. Allison Zimmerman, News 5.
Time for a check of the weather. A sunny day, but man, it turned chilly quickly. Here's meteorologist Alex O'Brien with the details.
Right, Megan, it was sunny today, but colder thanks to a cold front that came in last night. And our high was 39 and the Springs average is 54, 47 in Pueblo today. 58 is normal for this time of year. Another thing that's enhancing some colder temperatures is the fact that we still have this snow on the ground for much of the plains. And generally, snow just reflects so much sunlight that it doesn't absorb much heat. And so that helps keep temperatures colder, and it helps to keep that snow around even in full sun. So 19 degrees is our current temperature in Lyman right now. We have a bit of a temperature inversion happening where it's warmer at the higher elevations. Woodland Park hanging out at 37 degrees. We're all getting pretty cold tonight, dropping into the teens and 20s, and then tomorrow afternoon we'll have sunshine once again, but we're going to start to see a nice warm up. More 50s are expected tomorrow, so back to warmer temperatures, and that'll be the case for the rest of the week. But coming up, I'll talk about our next chance of snow.
I'm Lindsay Jensen. I wanted to gauge how some young people are truly doing mentally in our community. There are feelings of loneliness, frustration, and stress from 2 high school students I spoke with. A junior high school counselor says a lot of kids need help navigating social and academic anxiety right now.
Something like, I'm not really coping right now. I'm kind of just existing right now.
Alex Welty is struggling with his parents' divorce and transferring to online school his sophomore year.
And school is really hard because I suffer from like really bad OCD. And that's kind of like flared up quite a bit because of the other situations.
Welty is trying to manage his frustration by making art and talking to a therapist.
Back in March, I ended up trying to hurt myself. So that was pretty much like the point where my dad was like, all right, we're getting you something.
As a senior, Sierra Bua is dealing with stress of her future's uncertainty.
There's always like that kind of worry in the back of my mind of like how life is going to be once I'm like out of the house and like kind of doing stuff on my own. Trying to stay hopeful about it so that I'm not too overwhelmed and depressed about it.
Bua tells me it's been hard to connect with people like her since she was small, feeling isolated.
Still feel a bit lonely at my school, just kind of due to the lack of diversity and stuff, and just how there's a concentrated group of people there and I don't necessarily fit that.
She says she is trying to find ways to cope with her stress.
I've kind of realized that like going outside is really helpful, and just taking the time to like just spend time by myself and just like do nothing.
Widefield School District 3 junior high counselor Jennifer Donato says societal pressure is taking a mental toll on more kids.
They are very fragile right now. We've got teenagers, they don't know who they are. They're trying to figure out who they are, and the world's trying to tell them you should be this and you should be that.
Donato recommends disconnecting from social media and leaning on friends and family.
When parents are having those conversations with their kiddos, being involved, asking questions, spending time with them, they're really building their students' competence and their confidence.
Welty and Bua say their generation is more open to talking about mental health, which is why they say they were willing to be vulnerable with me.
Me being able to finally explain like this is not like just something wrong with me, I guess. OCD is much more common than you think, so it's kind of like letting other people know it's all right.
As long as we find spaces for everybody to like come together and like talk about mental health and like how it's been for them, I think that's how we're gonna get better and how everyone's gonna probably like be happier.
According to the Colorado's Healthy Kids survey, more than a fifth of high school students reported their stress levels were not manageable most days in 2023. You can call or text 988 for free and confidential mental health support. In studio, I'm Lindsay Jensen, News 5.
As Lindsay just mentioned, youth mental health remains an important topic in our community. A symposium in Colorado Springs today looked at the impact of sports on mental wellness. The principles also applied to other activities like academics and the arts. Bill Folsom is looking at the idea of prioritizing mental wellness to lower the risk of mental illness.
A Palmer High senior signed to play college ball offers a reality check on the mind-body connection in sport.
It was a close game. We ended up losing. I got hurt that game. I got down on myself. I didn't really want to play anymore. I came back in and started playing bad.
With basketball or any sport, youth want to do well while also facing life.
It's a little hard balancing school with home life and then basketball on top of that. It's just a lot. It's pretty tiring.
Burnout is 100% real.
Olympic athletes are part of the expert panel offering advice and perspective during a youth and sports mental health symposium put on by Colorado Springs-based True Sport. They know from experience that the mind needs to be included in the workout and recovery process.
You could grind yourself into the ground 12 hours a day, but what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to recover. You're not going to be able to be your best self, not only in the sport, but outside of sport.
So now we know as families, we need to be checking in. How are you really doing? And then we need to know what to do if they're not doing so great.
The U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Museum offered up space for workshops and discussions for parents, coaches, and youth. One of the most important tools is realizing it's okay to talk about even minor struggles with thoughts and emotions. Common challenge with parent-child interactions is conversations that feel comfortable rather than confrontational. An idea for a place to make that happen that is quiet, private, and also natural is while you're driving someplace together. Other strategies include good sleep, less screen time, and prioritizing the process of continuous improvement over only thinking about winning.
To teach kids the skills they're going to need their entire lives to be successful when something really matters to them.
It's a proactive strategy of working on mental wellness as a way to lower the risk of mental illness. In Colorado Springs, Bill Folsom, News 5.
More than 1,900 people died last year from drug overdoses in Colorado. I'm Peter Choi with News 5. One mentor at the newly opened recovery center wants to lower that number by sharing her experience with drug addiction.
If I would continue going down that route, I was going to die.
A childhood of drug addiction.
This was right before I overdosed.
Wasn't exactly how Allison Persane pictured her life.
How accessible was it?
Very. People will do anything to get their next dollar. Whether you're 13, whether you're 9.
5 times. That's how many times Allison overdosed. She was only 16.
Feel anything, and that's what sucks. I didn't feel no pain, and that's why I thought it was numbing my pain. It was killing me slowly, but I thought I was getting happier.
Fentanyl flooding into Colorado and the Rocky Mountain West.
Deadly drug is making its way into local schools.
Fentanyl-related deaths more than doubled in El Paso County.
It affects young people quite a bit more acutely than it does older folks.
That's Jonathan Pullen with the Drug Enforcement Administration. He says drugs, especially fentanyl, is too accessible for teens.
Kids can go on social media sites and find people who sell pills, right? Then they can go meet that person at the mall, or they can have the drugs shipped to their house.
I'm going to teach you guys something real quick.
Allison is now guiding others who may struggle with drug addiction at Silver Linings Recovery Center with her mother.
But we're here, guys, and we're not going to stop.
Because she knows what addiction can do.
I come in struggling, saying, hey, I need help. You know, I need guidance.
What's the biggest happiness these days?
My son. He's my everyday. I want to wake up, you know, I want to go to work. I want to help people.
She knows a little bit of guidance can save people.
When you see that drug in front of you, say no. Whether it's to friends, whether it's to family. I know it's hard to say no because you don't want to make them feel bad, but say no.
And if you're watching this tonight, these deadly drugs are here in our community. The DEA says to educate yourself first. You can find more information on our website, KOAA.com. In studio tonight, Peter Choi, News 5.
Well, tomorrow is going to be the warmest day of the week. I've got your high temperatures across the region. Plus, I'm looking ahead at our next chance of snow here in southern Colorado. Welcome back. It was a beautiful sunset tonight in Divide. We had a few high clouds move in that helped to create a beautiful view. Thank you, Dawn, for sharing. So we had some cool temperatures today, but plenty of sunshine in the afternoon to make it feel comfortable outside. Cooling off now, it's 31 in Pueblo. No wind is being reported. High humidity, 82% right now. 29 in the Springs currently. North wind, only 5 miles per hour. And that humidity is rising, 78%. And so that high humidity is something I'm going to be watching for tonight. There is the potential for some light fog, patchy fog developing in the plains. Temperatures right now, 18 in Kit Carson already, 31 in Pueblo and 32 Canyon City, still above freezing in Woodland Park. Now, I am watching for that potential of some fog to develop along the Arkansas River, perhaps here in El Paso County as well, where we've had some of that snow lingering that's helped to add a little extra water vapor to the atmosphere. So the cold temperatures tonight could develop some light fog, but otherwise we're going to start the day very clear tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, and it will be cold. Our temperatures will mostly be in the teens and 20s, so you will need a heavier coat to start the day. But tomorrow afternoon is likely to be our warmest day of the week, and we'll be rising a couple degrees above average. to 58 in the Springs. Average high is 54. I've got 59 for Pueblo, and the average high is 58. We'll have, again, lots of sunshine throughout the afternoon. Generally, we've got high pressure dominating our forecast, which is keeping us nice and clear and dry. So across the region, mostly 40s and 50s for the mountains, 40s and 50s for the plains as well. You'll notice those cooler pockets of air where we still have plenty of snowfall on the ground. So 49 in Calhoun tomorrow, 58 for the Springs, 51 in Woodland Park. Generally low 60s or upper 50s along the Arkansas River for your Thursday afternoon. So things are going to change once we progress into next week. High pressure will move east, and then we'll get a dip in the jet stream, potentially our next area of low pressure forming, and that will give us some cooler days plus the chance of some moisture. And I kind of see this coming in two different waves, and so we'll talk about that once we head into next week. For the rest of this week, we've got high pressure, and that keeps us quite comfortable in the afternoon hours and near our seasonable high temperatures around average this time of year. Ice skating at Acacia Park returns on Friday. Should be dropping into the low 40s for ice skating time, so make sure you're bundling up. Saturday, I'm watching a breezier afternoon as our next cold front approaches. That drops us to the 40s by Sunday, but that front looks dry. Then I'm tracking our next storm system moving in Monday into Tuesday. Depending on the path this one takes, we could see some showers on Monday, but that's still a little uncertain at this time in exactly where that moisture will set up. Tuesday looks like a better chance of seeing some moisture, and that will be in the form of snow. But right now it looks like we'll have minor impacts, so I only have a set of storm impact 1 out of 5 for the next couple of days, Monday and Tuesday next week. So for Pueblo, mid to upper 50s carry us through the rest of the week and into the weekend. We are going to cool off with this next system moving in Monday to Tuesday. Canyon City, low 60s for the rest of the week, 50s over the weekend. You're also looking at showers possible Monday or Tuesday. Woodland Park, we're going to see that cool down gradually as we head into next week with snow showers possible.
I'm Dante Williams in Monument for National Signing Day. 15 District 38 athletes inked their names to national letters of intent, guaranteeing to further their academic and athletic careers at the collegiate level. 6 different sports and 15 different programs, but the enthusiasm amongst these athletes are one and the same.
I'm so excited. This has been a dream of mine for such a long time, so this right here just means so much to me.
It's a lifelong dream come true. Ever since I was a little baby, my siblings and everyone went and got to go play college lacrosse themselves, and it's been something that I've worked for the last 18 years of my life, I feel like, so it's the greatest thing I've ever accomplished.
Committing to their respective school is just the first step, as these athletes now look forward to joining their new programs and gaining new experiences.
I have a team that I'm going to that's taking off in playoffs right now, and I'm really excited to go be a part of that program and contribute to it.
Going to Ohio State, I'm really excited to have new teammates and coaches and have some new experiences, and although it's sad to leave all my teammates and amazing coaches behind, I'm super excited to have the opportunity.
If you know anyone that signed a national letter of intent right here in Southern Colorado, email us a picture with their name, their sport, and the school that they'll be attending, and we'll get it out to our social platforms. In Monument, I'm Dante Williams, News 5 Sports.
The results of last week's election continue to be a topic of conversation nationwide as President-elect Trump met with President Biden today at the White House to discuss a peaceful transition of power. Here in Colorado Springs, college students are learning more about how this election will impact their lives. At a UCCS panel, our Allison Zimmerman moderated a discussion about the changes that will result from changing seats of power at the local and national levels. Students heard the perspectives of both a Democrat and a Republican and had their own questions answered about the election results. If you plan on heading to downtown Colorado Springs to shop for the holidays, the city plans to help save you some money. Coming up next.
I'm Eleanor Shannon. If you ever come downtown Colorado Springs, then you know the struggle of having to pay to park. But the hours on these meters will soon get shorter this holiday season.
Parking in these spots downtown is going to cost you a coin or two.
But Allison and Isabella Ashley came prepared.
It's not the worst, but definitely shorter hours would be super nice.
Right now, you have to pay to park from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 1 to 10 p.m. on Sunday. But this holiday season, metered parking will be shortened from 8 to 8 Monday through Saturday and 1 to 8 on Sunday.
If the time were shorter, I feel like I would spend more time downtown, also like in the shops and like around like what's actually happening in Colorado Springs.
The move saves people from having to pay for 1 hour in the morning and 2 hours in the evening.
I think that's great. Yeah, get more people down here. I can say that, yeah, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to pay to park, so I do steer clear.
Parking will also be free in city-owned garages and lots on Sundays. This city also wants to help clean up the area to draw people downtown for the holidays.
I mean, looking around right now, it looks pretty clean so far.
I think overall it's pretty clean.
I think that like coming downtown, it does feel like relatively really clean.
Regardless, the city's neighborhood service team will conduct early morning cleanups in front of downtown businesses.
I obviously know there's parts that like probably could have more care and attention to
for
it.
sure, yeah.
And so that would always be interesting to see like how that could, I think, even like make it more clean or beautiful.
Ashley says she hopes these changes will encourage people to come downtown for the holidays.
Holiday season down here is so pretty because like, you know, the lights and stuff and then the skating rink that comes up. There's definitely, it's worth it, I think, coming down here and putting the care, like you're saying, into it.
The new pay-to-park hours will go into effect on Friday in both Old Colorado City and in downtown Colorado Springs. For News 5, I'm Eleanor Sheehan.
In addition to parking and cleanup efforts, the program is also focusing on security, homelessness response, and supporting businesses. The city's economic development team will be doing business walks to connect with local business owners as a way for the city to share information about existing resources and hear directly from downtown business owners. Also, the police department's downtown area response team will be deploying more resources, especially in the early morning hours. The city will also work with nonprofits to help do additional street outreach and case management for people experiencing homelessness downtown. The full program will run through the end of 2024. We'll be right back. Lottery tickets and scratchers are now easier to buy in Colorado. Colorado is now part of the website jackpot.com. The website allows people to buy official state lottery tickets and scratchers from their computers or phones through an official state lottery retailer. Colorado Lottery made more than $900 million last year. Some of that money goes back to helping state parks, schools, and other projects. This is trending tonight. A woman from Illinois is $1 million richer after she cashed in a lottery ticket she forgot that she bought. The woman was shopping at the supermarket last month when she decided at the last minute to buy a Lucky Day lottery ticket. It's a daily game played in Illinois. The drawing was on October 20th, but the woman never checked her ticket. A couple days later, she found that ticket in her purse, checked an app to see if she'd won anything, and much to her surprise, she found out she won $1 million. She says she hopes to use her winnings to travel more. Thanks for watching News 5 at 10. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.